This is, I think, our fourth virtual member meeting for Pacific Northwest Sculptors. Welcome, everybody. We are recording this, and the recording will be posted to the website in a day or two. Our guest tonight is Chayo Wilson and her friends, and this is an experiment, and it is guaranteed to be fun. I'll say nothing more about that. I'll introduce her in a minute. First, we have some guests tonight. Welcome. If you're not familiar with our organization, we are a nonprofit. Our mission is pretty simple. We educate the public and each other about sculpture. And we are basically a resource sharing organization. We share knowledge, information on resources. We publish monthly calls for artists. We have weekly meetups on Zoom, fairly informal, just chat. Our member application is on the website, and I look forward to seeing a few of you as new members very soon. Dave, do you want to update everybody on upcoming meetings and any other announcements you have?
Sure. So we are booked meetings through October. At this point, they still will probably all be virtual since things don't seem to be changing that way. Next month, I believe Mark Chapman will be hosting us, and then following month, Jennifer and I will host you guys through Cobalt Design Works, and then Maria Wickwire will be hosting in October. So at this point, we're booked in through there. If somebody has an interest to host, we are looking for opportunities for November. So please contact me and we can discuss looking at your work and sharing and hosting a meeting. So that's all I had.
All right, I'm going to move ahead then and introduce Chayo. Chayo Wilson is, if you don't know her, I think everybody here does, but if you don't know her, she is a charming person and an incredibly skilled ceramic artist. She currently has a piece showing in the Art of Quarantine at the Cave Gallery in Vancouver. She's preparing for a virtual local number 14 art show. She's also preparing for Day of the Dead show at Gardino Gallery, which will be in October. Her sculptural pieces are generally at Gardino and North by Northwest Gallery in Cannon Beach. And she'll also be a featured artist with painter Mark Dunst in the Side Street Gallery in August. I think I got all of that in August 2021. Chayo, I will let you introduce your guests and tell us what we're in for this evening.
Okay. Well, you're in for a treat because we're going to be making a sculpture. And if you stay to the end, you'll get to see the unveiling because it's an exquisite corpse. And each of us will make an addition without knowing what the other person has sculpted underneath. So when we take all the plastic off at the end, we will see how it all comes together. So that's kind of an enticement that is going to be going on behind me here. And I'll introduce Andy over here. Can they see you?
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
And Andy's going to be kind of working the corpse. We're trying to be far apart here. So anyway, this is really groundbreaking, and what we're doing and what my concept was, we would have a practice at how to involve everybody you know, that's out there viewing, and how is this going to work in this time of COVID. And we have Shelly as over here, and she brought a beautiful sculpture she will talk about later. So she goes with this sculpture, and this is Bill. And can they see you?
I'm sure they can.
And Bill and I have several sculptures here that we will be talking about. And here we have Amber.
Just chilling today.
Amber's chilling. She picked up 2 of my mugs, so I can show you a little of my work right there.
very nice, very sturdy.
I'm just going to take you inside my studio, and he's going to film.
We're good to go.
And this is my microphone. Okay, so this is where I do all my work. I built it about 4 years ago. I guess it's been 6 now. So most of the work takes place at this table unless I'm outside. All my texture items over here. I've been at my craft over 40 years, so I've collected an awful lot of things to make texture with. These pieces I'm working on glazing. They've been bisque fired. I'm going up to the Northwest by Northwest Gallery when they're done. And this is my wall of mugs ready for the virtual shows. When I joined the Sculptors, I think it was 4 years ago, I was working on these groups of goddesses. I showed them at the cave. I have a couple left because they cracked and I get to keep them. I did a large series of these and lots of different kinds and sold quite a few. And now I'm working towards Day of the Dead, so I'm doing some little being glazed, working on it. Got my Frida line up here for the Day of the Dead show I do every year. And I want to talk a little bit about my inspiration. I mean, I took courses in high school, actually, and my clay teacher, Mr. Owen, he really inspired me. He was quite different, and he took us to his house, and he had built clay chimneys on the top that whistled on his house, and I know he was an inspiration. And so I can't even believe I went on to become an artist. It wasn't what I set out to be. I have a teaching degree and a certificate in transpersonal psychology, but I've always loved to make things. And when I was pregnant with my first child, my son, my friend who's on here and a patron of mine, she said, when I think of meeting Chayo, I think of her melting sewing machine. So I'm going to show you that icon from so many years ago in the 70s. So I did a show, and I made several sewing machines doing different things. This one happens to be sewing on my life mask, so I couldn't sell it. So I actually have a representation of me back then, what I was into. So I've always done slab work. So now we're going to come outside. And Shelly, if you want to come over here, this is a piece Shelly and I put together for our, what's the name of that show? Not Making Space. Unmatched Pairs show that we had in Multnomah Village. And so she and I worked on this piece called Witness.
Yeah, I'm the metal worker and did the welding, and it was such a treat to work with Chayo on this project. I loved it. So Chayo, we started off with the concept of witness, where it was about each person looking through the mask, and we wanted simplicity, and the masks were white, but they lacked texture. I mean, I'm going to leave that to you, but the transformation that these ceramic faces went under is amazing to me, and how you had the courage to continue to push it and find something that spoke to you, find something that felt right.
Yeah, after your feedback, I had felt the same way, but I was afraid. They used to be just like that color here, and I put them in Bill's Beautiful Smoker here and smoked the masks, and I was afraid I was going to lose the gold, but what I got was this beautiful smoky patina. And what goes on with these is you look in one side and you're looking into the eyes of the person that's looking through the other mask. And it's a really, really profound experience, actually, because you're looking into the soul of the other person and you can't see their expression. And now we're doing that as a community, as a world. Little did we know.
Yeah, I know. Masks are, the whole concept of a mask is really interesting right now.
It
It's
is
on so many levels.
even more interesting.
I basically created the metalwork as a way to express kind of a levity and a lightness. This is a very human experience and their relationship, and the metal shoots up and beyond it. It takes up more space than the actual tips. It doesn't just stop here. I feel like it has height. There's so much movement and texture in the face. You can tell that they really lived through something. And I feel like that really speaks a lot to what's happening now with the city burning and all of the fire everyone is being put in right now. Everybody's just thrown in the fire, and I feel like these masks, it's really cool that right now that you've done that. They're living in this time, living and breathing in this time. So I was so delighted when I came over the other day and I saw what you did. At first I was like, what? But the gold is retained. It's so awesome. And then the masks just have such life.
Yeah, I like the piece better. I think it reads better with the metal, honestly. And they've been through something. Obviously, they've been through something.
Yeah.
They were just kind of like granite before.
Right.
So this piece was in a gallery up in Troutdale, and something fell off the wall and broke it, and they gave it back to me. So I used the kintsugi golden joinery method and put her back together because I loved her so much when she was, what I want to say, whole, before she was broken. But there she is. And I'm going to move on to Joan of Arc here. This is something I made with Lori Vale for, was it the Making Spaces? What do we call this is the bones of Joan of Arc. And we smoked them right here in my cauldron. These are the leftovers we didn't use. And, but she did the metal. She even hammered out this helmet. And this is Joan of Arc ascending all the cruelty and all of the things she went through. And that's why she has this serene look on her face. Because she has transcended all of the human suffering at this point. You want to come and join me, Bill? Bill and I did a body of work before he left for Hawaii for a year. And they're on these pedestals. So this one's called Flow. I'm doing these out of rhyme. She was actually at a point in our collective past when, as you'll see with some of the other pieces, there's more angst involved. So Flow has been broken apart and put back together on purpose because she went through something, and now she can move on. So when I come to Bill, I usually come to him with, he's asked me to make certain faces. This was made during the election cycle. And I kind of had a tricky-dicky idea about shape, not face. But the fearmonger is a among us. It's something we need to deal with, learn about. This was also put together during the election cycle.
The face was not broken till somebody watching our house broke it.
Yes, it had a catastrophe.
The election was a catastrophe.
What do you say?
The election was a catastrophe.
Huh?
Yeah, you're doing
Anyway,
fine.
I like it better. It took hours to re-glue parts, and we all reached a crescendo together, and then we broke. That's how I think of it anyway. I love this piece. This one's called Scientific Compassion, or just Compassion. I was asked to make several sculptures for a 3-hour play called McAlister. And the scientists went on an excursion to Antarctica in the 60s, and they were just looking at each of their focuses while they were there, and they were confined to a very small space for like 6 months together. And if they stepped outside, they would die. It's freezing cold like that. And they did go on, I think, 2 outdoor adventures. So this is my ode to compassion for the scientists that really, sometimes risk their lives in service to finding out things, to help us. And so that's why she looks frostbitten, but she has that compassionate look. And I love how Bill made the cold weather appear with this beautiful scarf that's just, straight out frozen in the Antarctica. She's one of my favorites that we still have. And this one is Anima Animus. And Bill and I, I like all these pieces because the heads do wobble, and that makes them fun. We angsted over this piece a lot. It changed form many times. Pieces came on, pieces came off. Typically,
Chayo would look in the scrap pile and say, "Oh, let's use that." So we pull the scrap out and add it to it.
So what I wrote back then about this piece when it was coming into birth, I wrote, in this technological era, sometimes it's hard to acknowledge our connection with the animal nature and natural world. This piece is a prayer for the people of the earth to remember we are guests on this planet. And so each feather I put on here with a prayer. There's a prayer tie for the earth and all who inhabit it. And I love it when it's outside. It loves to be outside because all the prayers get the wind to blow through them. It's interesting going back to my notes. Next to the comfrey.
Yeah. Chilling in the garden.
Yeah. Looks nice where the sun is right now.
She looks so happy. Moon-esque.
Huh?
Kind of moon.
Yeah, she's very
Moony.
moon-esque. That one's had several faces. Hey, we should go over to hanging in the balance. Andy. Oh, this is interesting. Earth hangs in the balance. And this was from the McAlister 3-hour play as well in Antarctica. And it's, will the human heart tip the scale, or will greed win out? So this is the scales. We have earth on our heart right now. What we do is ultimately really important, what we choose at all times, actually. We have a choice. Earth is in the balance. If we take care of their hearts, I think we can tip the scales.
I agree.
This piece I made during a breakup, and to me it kind of looked like a standoff till I hung this heart here, this heart rock here. Those of you who know me really well know I collect heart rocks. And my grandchildren bring them to me all the time, which I love. But I reached some sort of peace where I could hold the space of turning away from each other, and holding on to my own heart and the strength of my heart on my own. So it was for the giving space. I mean, it was for the making space, and I call this piece Giving Space. Giving space to each other. And these were smoke fired in a pit. They're porcelain. You can tell I like to make faces, huh? So anyway, this girl is going through the veils, moving through the veils into the non-physical world from the physical world. And I put copper wire in between to give her a little extra layer there. And we're going to end on this one. It's called Dare to Hope. And I think that's what we all need right now. This girl's been through the fire as well. And we all need that hopeful promise that, you know, we'll come out of this and maybe be better here. Maybe we'll learn some new ways to respect each other. And she just sort of keeps a solid ground. I love the base Bill put on this piece. I think it looks really good with the form, and I love her hairdo.
Wow.
I really do. I love the workmanship on it, honestly.
This piece is called Knowing. It's about 6 feet and change high. This is fully made out of 100% reclaimed materials. This is an oil tank that I cut out of a client's yard. So this is the part that was in contact with the earth, and this is the part that was in contact with the oil. So this is a really smooth side. And then I reversed it on the back. This piece has 2 faces, but they inform each other. This part is a ball bearing, and then this part is Oregon agate. And I had this piece and was pretty excited when I was going through all my little parts and pieces and mulling it over and trying to figure out how to make it work. I remembered I had this from a jeweler friend of mine, Ty Vautier, and she said, hey, do you want some stones? She just couldn't work it, and I held on to it for over a year, and then it feels like it just was meant to be. And I love this piece. This is a gear train for tools that climb on. And yeah, so this piece is called Knowing, and it's part of a series. This is the second one I made in the series.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
It reminds me of a warrior's shield with a warrior's
it's got a really great character.
It does.
I love this piece a lot. Yeah. Thank you for letting me share it.
Thank you.
Get some textures.
I don't know how many of you have heard of Exquisite Corpse before, but it started in the 1920s with Andre Breton. I'm saying his name right. And he was the leader of Surrealism. And so they had these parlor games. And they would start, they were writers. So the Exquisite Corpse started as writing. And my kids and I would play writing with this, and we would also do drawings, but I've never done a sculpture in this manner. But back then in the parlor game, they would start it exquisite. They would say this, they would write this, and then they would start the story. Fold the paper in as many folds as people were there, and so no one could see what was written before. And they would start it like this: Exquisite Corpse will drink the new wine. And then they would go off from there. And that's how it started. But today we are, Andy has started with making a base out of clay, and it is covered up, so we don't know what the shape is. And who wants to be the first to go down there?
I will.
Okay. So Shelly's going to be the first.
So Chayo, when do we get to see what everybody's working on?
Well, one person at a time, because then they don't know what the other person has done.
I see.
Keeping it shrouded in plastic, so all you do is know what your piece is until everything comes off, and then we will get to see the whole deal. Has anyone on here ever done a sculpture that way?
No,
No. Nope.
not I.
Nope.
Well, Andy and I, when I was telling him my idea, he said it would be fun sometime to try to do this on Zoom with each other. Somehow maybe, because if we're lined up, Elisa would draw the legs, and Andy would draw the torso, and Lorita would draw the arms, and then Chaz would do the head, and we could go up and down our lines and then hold them up. It would be sort of fun.
Well, we each had our camera focused on a different part of it. We could stack them up.
Well, we could do so many ways. Maybe we
Yeah.
could make this work. We were thinking it would be something we could all do, the people far away, the people that can't get here in the physical. I'm sorry if things were shaky on the pieces. I don't know.
They were beautiful, and I loved your descriptions. Very heartfelt and meaningful.
Yeah, it was interesting going back in time, because some of those pieces were 4 years ago. We've sold a lot of our pieces that were made during that time. Oh, good. And I've been handed some clay myself. So, nothing I like better than getting my hands on clay. So we're working on Hera the dog. Is that what it's called?
Here the dog has that name because it has nylon fibers in the clay body.
Oh.
The
Yes.
nylon fibers will burn out in firing, but during this time when you're working it gives it a lot of tensile strength. You can pull and push on it, and it really functions well as a sculpture clay body.
It's almost like plastic-y.
That's one of the great things about this, I guess. You can work in your studio and talk to other artists at the same time. Oops, what did I do?
Is that what you do?
Oh no! Okay.
Things will not look the same, though, when they get put on there, I'm sure. We can't stop our hands from working. One thing I love about sculptors is we like to set a little goal or a project or something to solve. And at the end of the day, when we see what it looks like, we'll decide whether we want to fire it or destroy it. That's the artist's way. Are we going to keep it or not?
You mean you can not keep it? Oh,
Who said that, George?
that's why my studio looks the way it does. I didn't know I could get rid of it.
It's an option, George.
McAlister can do that if he wants.
What an idea.
Hi, Leah. I'm glad you came. I feel like everyone's in my garden with me after being, you know, out here all by myself a lot.
Well, thank you for letting us join you in your garden.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And I was thinking of Scott when I was setting up, we were setting up the pedestals, thinking of your creation out there in Whidbey.
Yes.
Because the pieces do
Yeah,
look
how's that going since last week?
lovely.
Yeah, it's going great. We started putting in some plinths for some of the initial sculptures that are coming in, and finally got electricity in, so waiting for internet now for the security cameras, and that's the next step. And going to be working on the they're doing the grading for the parking lot starting tomorrow, so still making a lot of progress.
Good.
I think things are coming along, and showing some folks, still giving tours to sculptors and things like that. So it's a very time intensive process, but it's fun, and it's all for, yep. So if anybody is ever on a vacation up north, let me know. Be happy to meet you and show you around. So.
And where is it?
It's on Whidbey Island, northwest of
Oh,
Seattle.
it would be.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you're interested, we have a website. It's sculptureforest.org, O-R-G, and you can get some information about it there.
How many pieces do you have confirmed for that location?
Right now, probably about, I don't know, I haven't really added them up. Probably about 15, something like that so far. And then I've got a number of folks that I'm, on the agenda to be meeting with. So far, every sculptor who has come and walked the park has wanted to participate with something. So that's been nice. So I am going to open it soon because people are already, stopping by. They want to walk the trails. There's a lot of interest in it. But so I can open the trails, and then I'll continue adding to it as we go over the coming year, and then have the official ribbon cutting thing and all that kind of stuff next year.
We have Amber behind the wall putting on the third piece.
Okay.
So hang in there.
How many pieces will you assemble?
5 interestingly different pieces. Bill and I will put our pieces on, and then we'll unveil it.
Nothing going on. If you want to add to that composition.
Should I go next?
Well, we're thinking of bringing it out here, and then you would put the final piece on top, and maybe introduce some of Bill's features, like wings.
I mean,
Bring it out.
We're gonna.
that's a good idea.
Okay, you guys, they're going to bring it out. And
Good.
Now, is that the sculpture she putting the top on? Looks like it. In Shelly's camera, is that the sculpture you're putting the top on? I can't hear you. You're muted, Chayo.
right about here. Are they watching this? I'm sure are.
Yeah, we're watching you.
We're watching you.
We've got our eye on you.
What I'm
We're
thinking
watching.
is,
It is an exquisite corpse. You got a face on the top.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it right here on this real heavy piece here. I think they're going to look good pieces out.
Wow, I love those lips.
I like that we have several colors. I'm having to add
Let's get the plastic.
in my mouth.
On.
Ooh, look at Amber's.
What's that?
Now is Amber's going on there? That's beautiful. Is that your piece, Amber, on the in the camera? It's gorgeous.
Oh, that's just some piece I found. That's not a part of it.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh, it's not?
Oh, I was just playing. Right here. Cool. Who else is in here? This is a big crowd.
Yes, quite large.
Amber, do they know we can't hear them?
Do you guys know they can't hear you? Are you guys talking to them? You have a mic over there? Try
Testing, testing. Check, check, check. Microphone check.
There you go. Sweet. Okay, let's see here.
I can't wear those ear masks. I have to have it go around my whole head.
This, yeah.
I have a problem. My ears fold forward.
So do mine.
I found
Anything else coming on here, Andy?
Yeah, hang on just a couple seconds.
This is awesome.
Happy, welcome in Baudelaire. Wow, it kind of just looks like everything else.
So much for secrecy.
My name is Johnson.
But you don't know what's under there.
That's
No,
right.
we
Part
don't.
of it's secret.
Our world, gonna make you see that world in a whole new way.
Oh, is that what's under there?
Did the queen?
I think Andy snuck another little head in that sculpture over there.
Is he?
Yes. I'm jealous. I want to play.
Yes.
No, what we ought to add to this is stream of consciousness from the people working, so they can just talk us through their work.
It's a good suggestion, McAlister.
Yeah.
I like it.
that. I like that idea.
Pretty texture on yours, Bill.
There you go.
You brought it out.
Coming alive?
Mm-hmm.
That's the way sculpture is. Every once in a while, it just, all of a sudden, it's there. Where there was a lump of clay, now there's a spirit there.
Totally.
Spirit of the evening.
Are you going to break it apart and fire it in pieces, or are you going to fire it at all?
You're getting ahead of us.
No, you've got the head.
Let's see what it looks
For
like.
us.
Let's move it back just a little so they can see the whole deal. All right, drum roll. Whoa. Wow.
Yay.
So we can get the second piece up?
Oh,
Nice.
Ellie did the
My
Oh,
network
so the second
bandwidth
piece,
is
Em.
low.
third piece.
I love all the movement in it.
That's all 5 pieces?
Six.
Cool. Says my network bandwidth is low.
That's wonderful. Look at that.
Wow.
All of us with it.
Yeah, get y'all with it. I'm going to take a screenshot with
Pretty
you.
cool.
Can you take a screenshot?
Yeah, I can.
Wait, let me.
Somebody?
Yeah,
Rocking it.
yeah. Keep
You're
the
busy.
thing still. Then we can.
There we go.
Scoot back, Amber.
Very nice.
Scoot back.
Very good.
Oh, I can't see you, Bill. Oh, there you are. Oh, perfect. Nice. You guys look awesome. Oh my God. That is so great. Oh, congratulations.
That's great.
Yes, we will identify everything done in 2020 because everybody's masked.
Yeah, it's a symbol of the times.
Right.
Thank you, Chayo.
You're welcome. Welcome to my world.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for showing up and being a part of this.
Well done.
I was wondering how it felt to be out there and not be able to be participating in the clay.
Fingers itch.
Yeah, well,
Your fingers itch?
Yeah. I went and got some clay of my own.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, maybe we should all have a little piece of clay next time or something.
Yeah.
Whatever the medium is.
Oh, that would be fun.
I would say
Good
a clay
idea.
tray that, once you guys are finished, then we show what we've been working on too.
I like it. Yeah.
Well, you guys did a beautiful job.
Yep.
Yeah, that was lovely.
That was fun.
Yeah.
It really made it cool to have you with us.
Well, it was a good first time interactive session.